In a quiet town in Ohio, Caleb Miller appeared just like everyone else. By day, he was a 24-year-old grocery store employee, laughing with co-workers, scrolling through his phone during the lunch breaks, and watching the town's steady rhythm of life pass him by. But every night, Caleb fought a silent, invisible battle. It started when he was just 15. A glimpse of pornography on his best friend's cracked phone screen after school. The rush was exhilarating, taboo, and like nothing he had ever felt before. He swore it was just curiosity, nothing to worry about. But curiosity turned into habit, and habit grew into a need, a longing, a secret addiction. By the time Caleb was 24, it wasn't just casual viewing. It was a nightly routine, an unshakable pattern that pulled him deeper and deeper, sometimes twice a day, sometimes more. Each time, he told himself it would be the last time, that tomorrow would be different. But tomorrow never came. Instead, his life began to shrink. The addiction spread like a shadow over everything he used to care about. Relationships felt distant, awkward. Women, once the object of interest, became sources of shame. How could he look them in the eye when he knew what he was hiding behind closed doors? His self-esteem plummeted. Motivation gone. He spent his days working, scrolling mindlessly, and coming home to an empty apartment above a barbershop. The loneliness, the self-loathing, it all kept building. It wasn't just the pornography, it was the emptiness that came after. The feeling of staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., drained, ashamed, and hollow. Lust had become his escape, his comfort, and yet it only left him more broken each time. One night, after the screen went black, Caleb found himself staring at his reflection in the darkened screen. His eyes were red from exhaustion. His shoulders slumped. He didn't recognize the person he saw. The man in the reflection wasn't the one he had imagined himself to be. "I'm not this guy," he whispered, his voice trembling. It wasn't some dramatic moment. No one had caught him, no loud confrontation, just a quiet, painful truth crashing down on him. This was not who he was meant to be. The realization hit harder than any shame or guilt he'd ever felt. The next morning, Caleb made a choice. It wasn't a grand, heroic decision. There was no fanfare, no life-changing event. Just a quiet whisper inside him that said, "You can't keep doing this." So Caleb did something he hadn't done in years. He took action. He deleted everything, every video, every saved account, every hidden file. His heart raced as he pressed delete. There was no going back. He installed blockers on his phone. He unfollowed pages that triggered him. For the first time, he didn't close the door to his bedroom when he got home at night. He kept it slightly ajar, leaving a small sliver of light and accountability in his life. The first few days were hell. His body screamed for dopamine, his mind filled with familiar images, and his sleep became restless. He tossed and turned, consumed by the cravings. Every part of him wanted to give in. But Caleb didn't. Instead of reaching for his phone, he dropped to the floor and did push-ups until his arms shook. He ran down the streets, even when it was cold and dark, just to feel something different. He started writing down his thoughts, each craving, each urge, and took it all to a small therapy clinic downtown. There, for the first time, he spoke the truth aloud. "I'm addicted to porn," he admitted, his voice cracking, "and I don't know how to stop." Saying the words was like lifting a weight he didn't even know he was carrying. It wasn't the cure, but it was a first step toward freedom. The weeks that followed were a battle. Some days he felt invincible. Other days, the cravings were stronger than ever. But Caleb kept moving forward. He joined a local gym. He enrolled in online classes, reigniting a passion he had long ignored. He began reading about self-discipline and building habits. He prayed, he meditated, and bit by bit, his life began to return. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks, moments when the pull of the past seemed too strong, but Caleb kept going. He wasn't perfect. He didn't expect to be. What mattered was that he was choosing every day. 6 months later, Caleb sat in his apartment, the same place where shame had once ruled, and realized something had shifted. He wasn't fixed. He was still learning, still growing, but he had reclaimed his life. He was free. The addiction no longer controlled him. It no longer defined him. Lust had once been his escape, but now he understood. It had been filling a deeper void. Loneliness, a lack of purpose, a fear of being seen. And in facing those things, in doing the hard work, Caleb had started filling that void with something more real, more lasting: discipline, growth, and connection. A year later, Caleb stood stronger than he had ever been, not because he was perfect, but because he had conquered the hardest battle, the one within himself. And now he lived with a new truth. The greatest victory is not in overcoming temptation, but in mastering yourself. This is your turn. If Caleb's story inspired you, it's time to take that first step toward your own transformation. Subscribe to this channel for more stories that can help guide you on your journey to self-mastery. You are capable of more than you realize.